Today, we're going to be checking out Lost in a Pond. And we're going to be checking out 5 words I didn't know until I moved to America. Really excited to see what we got in this video, man. So, yeah, let's check this out.
There's more to American English than meets the eye.
Tell me.
Hello, I'm Lawrence, and I'm on a quest to uncover
Halloween?
all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to words. In this case, unfamiliar words. Words I didn't know existed until I hopped on a plane and casually spent a few years in the Midwest. Words that, as far as I knew, were not to be found in Britain. And on that last point, of course, there are thousands of those. You've only got to look at my list of American English words not used in the UK to see that. I've linked to that in my description below.
Yeah, I can't lie. I've heard a fair few.
But before you scroll in that direction to tell me that this video didn't include words like, I don't know, aluminum or French fries or porta potty, keep in mind that there are actually scores of American English words that I did know before coming here. Actually, porta potty wasn't one of those, because I learned that after the fact.
The video is just words that he didn't know, right? We know words like, we even use words like French fries.
I was potty trained is what I'm saying. No. The point is, this video and the hordes of follow-up videos that will inevitably follow concerns American English variants that either didn't enter the British consciousness or simply evaded my own. And so without further Peru, let's take a look at 5 words I didn't know existed before moving to America.
I'm ready. Acclimate.
After moving to America, the word acclimate was one to which, appropriately, I had to adapt. After all, the predominant equivalent in British English is acclimatise, with the modern meaning of both being to become accustomed to a physical or mental change. As a brand new resident of the United States,
it's like acquiring the climate.
I certainly had to do that, but as a Brit back then who knew no better, I secretly pondered the circumstances in which America took this perfectly good English word and shortened it. I understood Noah Webster's respelling of words like humour, colour and honour, because those spellings were all part of a clearly defined rule that made total sense. This seeming change to acclimate didn't seem to fit one. It's not like socialise became socialate or estimate evolved from estimise. But then I did something a little reckless.
What did you do?
Research. You see, it turns out that acclimate entered the language before acclimatise, with both words initially meaning...
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I've never even heard of acclimatise either. I ain't gonna lie.
To modify a living thing to suit a foreign climate. Indeed, both words were in equal use in Britain in the early to mid-19th century before acclimatise slapped its counterpart into oblivion, taking on its modern usage and 14 hours of community service. The 2 words, meanwhile, were almost neck and neck in American media until as recently as the 1950s, when acclimate punched its wary foe in the arse. That said, the word acclimatise does still function in American English, specifically when referring to one's adjustment to the climate. You just don't normally hear it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I hadn't heard anyone say either of the two. I know, but let me know if you guys use that word down below.
Speaking of normal...
Normalcy.
If there's one thing that proves America isn't exactly normal, it's that one of its cities is called normal. But when it comes to the English language, there's another way that America deviates from the norm. Its use of the word normalcy as an alternative to normality. This, as I've pointed out before, was largely down to one man, 29th President of the United States, Warren G. Harding. Harding, a man known for his cavalier relationship with the English language, used the word normalcy as part of his presidential campaign slogan, "A return to normalcy," in 1920. Only there was one problem. At this time, the word normalcy meant exclusively the mathematical condition of being at right angles. Clearly then, Harding's measurements were all askew, but it didn't stop his intended meaning of the word from taking off. Indeed, if usage trends hold, normalcy is on course to overtake normality in print in my lifetime, which is truly what counts for exciting these.
The comeback of the century. Well, not comeback because it was always below, but yeah. The takeover of the century.
Days. And that's because, for word nerds like me, this whole bally affair might be best described by our next entry.
Wait, addicting? He never heard the word addicting. Oh, addicted. No, that's very addicting. Addictive. I don't even know. I'm pretty sure I've used the word addictive though.
For the first 26 years of my life, the word used to describe a physiological dependence on something like sugar or painkillers.
Yeah, that's addicting.
My videos was the word addictive. In fact, it still is. But for some Americans, and I do stress the word some.
Oh, maybe it is addictive and I'm tripping. Yo, that's addictive. Yo, that's addicting. Oh yeah, I use addictive. I'm confusing myself, man.
That particular adjective isn't an adjective at all, but a verb, or at least it was.
Right.
You see, the word addicting appears in countless books from the turn of the 19th century, usually in the sense of giving one's assent to something. And admittedly, it wasn't just exclusive to American English text. Indeed, here it is showing up in a London print of Samuel Johnson's The Plan of an English Dictionary, again in the previously abundant verb form. And then that abundancy dissipated, which makes me sound like a weather presenter. And the word, now as an adjective, did not see such widespread use in print until after World War II.
Oh, I thought the red line was going to be addicted.
Curiously, its re-emergence occurred at almost exactly the same time that the word addictive was entering English. And that's because the two words, particularly in American English, were thereafter used interchangeably. Of course, graphs such as these only tell part of the story. The word addicting in literary circles is probably considered informal usage, so it's less likely to appear in print than addictive. The jury then is still out on spoken instances of the word addicting, but I will tell you from personal experience that I only encountered it myself after moving to America's Midwest. And the same is true with our next entry.
What we got? Leaf peeping. Bro, what could this mean? Leaf peeping? Is that like where you peeping through leaves?
As I mentioned in my previous video, there exists a term exclusive to American English that describes the act of viewing and potentially photographing fall foliage. And that word is two words, actually. Leaf peeping.
Oh, so it's not Well, technically you kind of peeping through leaves. Just with a camera.
As far as I can tell, the phrase is mostly common in New England, but does put in the occasional appearance here in the Midwest. So let me know in the comments below if this term is on your radar and where you live. But just don't give me your full address again. I'm a sucker, 1977. Just the city. Now, the very practice of leaf peeping, or what it entails, might be more widespread than the phrase itself. Moreover, depending on where in the United States one might live, one might go leaf peeping at a slightly different time of the year. For those of us in the north, for example, peak fall foliage times are mostly in the middle of October, unless you live in the Rockies, the Upper Great Lakes, or New England, where the best peeping times fall under late September.
It sounds so weird. The best peeping
September to early October. Meanwhile, on the West Coast and in the South, you're looking at late October, November, or not at all if your region specializes in palm trees. And speaking of specializing, that brings us on to our final entry.
Dun dun dun. Speciality. I'm pretty sure that's used in the UK.
My wife's is vintage fashion and cooking. My cat's is looking adorable in his personal Instagram page. Mine is accidentally spilling coffee on myself.
Hey, that's a good picture.
We all have a particular set of skills that I once referred to as a speciality.
Yeah, speciality.
But after moving to the United States, I soon learned that the American tendency was to drop the second I to form the word specialty. And as with the first...
Oh, right, okay. Slight difference then. Very slight.
3 words on this list, I assumed the change was the work of Noah Webster, the lexicographer, whose spelling reforms gave us many of the American English spellings still in use today. But the word specialty, or at least its origins, predate Noah Webster's first American English dictionary by about 500 bloody years. You see, it comes from the old French word especialité, initially meaning a partiality towards something.
I have a specialty towards Lost in the Pond videos. Oh, he already said that in 1312? Damn.
Moreover, the word's origins also predate speciality, which entered English via Old French and Latin in the 15th century. In recent times, of course, the latter has barely seen the light of day in American English, where increasingly lexical prevalence has been the speciality of specialty. Funnily enough, though, despite the fact that I only first encountered the word after moving to America, it nonetheless has a growing presence in British English, where it is often used in legal or medical contexts.
Fair enough.
So as you can see, there's more to American English than meets the eye.
Right.
Increasingly, you come to discover that alternate usages are not necessarily the work of American arrogance or a desire to one-up the British, but rather the product of a much older linguistic evolution, and also the fact that memos occasionally get lost in the pond. That's it for this episode.
That was a fun video. I enjoyed that. If you guys could think of any words that you guys say that you think people in the UK might not know, drop them in the comment section. But good video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a thumbs up, subscribe for more content. I'm live every single day on twitch.tv/L3WG. If you guys want to check me out over there, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.